What's good, y'all? Today we're gonna be reacting to a video titled "The Faze Situation Is Insane" by Novely. Now, apparently, Faze broke up. Officially, not just like Blackboy Max leaving, not just Faze Banks leaving, like the whole squad is just cooked. So Novely is about to go into like detail so we can kind of figure out what's going on. But if you made it this far in the video, I'd appreciate it if you can click the sub button. You guys been showing like a lot of support and it helps the algorithm. Other than that, let's get into it.
We had no control. Or it's like we're puppets. At least that's what it felt like. Anything could happen at any moment.
They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the? Making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro.
I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane ego.
This nigga reminds me of Adam 22, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
And I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach.
Recently, Faze Clan has been going through some of the worst turmoil of their life, where it seems like everybody is exposing what happened inside of Faze Clan, specifically Blackboy Max, his cousin, along with even Faze Banks, because he got shade thrown at him, and it seems like everything is just falling apart. From all of the new Faze members, and even some of the OGs leaving, a lot happened today, and I want to dive into everything, so I don't want to yap too much. Why don't we start from the very beginning with how this all started in the first place?
Let's get it,
So at the
Novely.
end of this year, I think I'm gonna give a sit-down talk. Gonna talk about why 365 really ended and why I really left. Answer all the questions for y'all. I also gotta tell y'all a bunch of that was supposed to happen and why it didn't happen, like food chain, 5-star house. There's that I just cannot talk about, and I know it make it look crazy, and I be hate farming myself by doing that, but it's like I'll take it on the chin, bro. Because at the end of the day, chat, y'all gotta understand, people are fickle. Like, they'll hate you one moment, they'll love you the next, and then hate you again.
There's going to be a lot of background you get to add on the situation, so I'm going to have timestamps in case you want to just hear what Blackboy Max said in his most recent stream. But for the uninitiated and unaware, Faze Clan is an organization that was down in the dumps and basically ruined to all belief, with the owners being taken over by corporate greed and those people just trying to get as much money out of Faze as possible. That content organization, which is what they mainly were, creating trick shot montages, playing video games, along with
peak Faze back in the Call of Duty days, had the internet in a frenzy, bro. You just had to be there. Trick shots trick shots is going crazy, I ain't gonna lie, bro. They kind of made a return to start doing the streaming shit, but OG Faze was a little lit, I ain't gonna lie.
vlog era type content at the time was being ruined inside and out, having a bunch of people leave and a bunch of people expose the mistreatment they were even experiencing from Faze, not only on a content side but also on a business side.
The brand has been mismanaged and out for so long and controlled by the absolute wrong people. We've been working on regaining any sense of control or authority or anything at this company for a long time, and that deck, like I said, was made a year ago.
And this left a lot of people believing that Faze was just gone, as its stock had plummeted, a bunch of people had left, and they basically had no real money or no real content creators that were trying their best to make Faze a thing again. Until Faze Banks, someone who is a prominent owner and original creator of Faze, bought the organization back and decided to rebrand into this new
So he sold Faze to begin with
of content, which was streaming.
And you guys have heard the story a million times. I guess I can run it through one more time. We got stolen from us, me and my boys. Shout out Tommy, Rain, Apex. Got it back. Did the only thing that
I got this damn candle. This one starts smelling like it's cooked. It's about to run out. I started smelling burning. I'm like, what the hell? Alright, we back.
was to really do, which was wipe the slate clean, hit the reset button, give the fresh start. People told us we were dumb. People told me I was ruining Faze. People asked me, who the is Lacey? Who the Blackboy Max? Stable Ronaldo? Who the Silky? I guess now they know.
This new era of Faze consisted of some
I guess they'll never know. He tried to get a little Kanye shit on. I guess they know.
the highest viewed streamers in a recent day, that being Jason Ween, Blackboy Max, Lacey, Silky, and all of them have made tremendous content in recent years that have not only pushed their own brand but also the Faze brand further and have recognized it in new light and basically gave it a whole new meaning to be a part of Faze. Unfortunately for them, those times cannot last forever though, as even though Faze was on a generational run from being named Org of the Year to Faze Miss to having an amazing Faze subathon, they all reached new goals and new heights they never thought they would reach, it seemed like that all came to an end once one crack was formed in the organization. That crack was Blackboy Max eventually leaving Faze.
But yes, I'm leaving Faze. Like I just said, I can't fully go into depth why I'm leaving Faze, but I am leaving and I'm ready to,
Yo, when this happened, bro, when this happened, the whole internet was like, "Oh my God, why you leave Faze, bro? Oh, it's ego, and they was looking at him crazy. That's wild. I wonder if he gonna say what's going on.
He worked the hardest I ever have in my career to do whatever I got to do to make Five Star the biggest possible, make myself the biggest possible. Just keep working like we have for the past 4 years. Anyone that's been watching me for a while, yeah, I know I was never like I always said. There's old clips where I got. I'm like, I never joined a group, etc. Ended up joining a group, and I'm gonna be honest, it's one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Joining Faze, like, for sure.
When Black Boy Max originally left Faze, it seemed like it was for no real rhyme or reason, as the Faze guys were on a generational run. All of a sudden, it came out that he had left.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere, bro. Because he was doing his like every day of the year stream, 365. He was supposed to stream like every day of the year. I'm not saying I knew he wasn't gonna like be able to do it, but it did seem like super strenuous streaming every single day. But he was on that, and then he just like one day was like, "Yo, I'm leaving Faze, bruh."
Organization after doing a collab stream with them, so everybody was shocked, everybody was curious, and nobody really knew the real reason as to why he had left. He was just talking about building his own thing, being 5-star, and having that actually be what he wants to focus on. Well, Faze as an organization, a lot of people had seen help him in ways that even he couldn't explain. So when it came out that the reason Black Boy Max apparently left Faze was purely because of equity reasons or because he didn't actually own Faze, a lot of people started pointing at him and telling him that he is a terrible person. It basically ruined Faze for no real reason.
Shout out to everyone in Faze. I love all of them. They my boys. I don't own Faze. I don't own Faze.
No
ownership. I want to build something. If you're hurt because you're mad that I want to build something for myself, sorry, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm still gonna do it, and I'm gonna make this 5-star big ever. And me, the ever. That don't mean I don't. These don't mean I won't. These don't mean I won't do.
So that's the thing about working in a group, though, bro. I've come to like terms that like as of now, I couldn't do that group shit either, bro. I just don't like I just don't like people, bro. I can't be around people too much. I don't like the random like movements, like the random shift in energy. I kind of like things to be consistent and steady. And the more people you add, the more like your piece can be affected. So I can never really be like a group person myself. So I can see where he coming from, especially not owning this shit. It's almost like you one of the biggest streamers in the world, but like you getting damn near salary type shit. And I don't know what their whole situation is, but like I guess in a light where like you can't really do nothing with the brand. Like you gotta ask permission to do shit and get shit done, instead of just being able to move on your own or conduct your own business because you're part of a collective. I couldn't do that.
They're my boys. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna do what I feel is right for me. And then when you see work out down the line, you'll see what I mean. That's all I'm gonna say. I love these though, but I gotta make grown man decisions. I'm 22, not 18 no more in my mom room.
A lot of 5-star, which is Black Boy Max's own community, along with other people inside of the Faze community, from Jason Ween to Stable Ronaldo all the way to Lacey, all of their comms were genuinely mad at Black Boy Max, especially with this explanation, because it just seemed like he wasn't giving a
like ego, right?
as to why he left Faze. And that fact being ownership and being that he wants to focus on 5-star, which is his own comm, really did upset them a lot. It didn't feel like an actual genuine explanation as to why he would destroy the so-called friendship that he built with them. But when you look at the current state of Faze Clan, Black Boy Max was just a pioneer of what was yet to come, as the Faze members that did stay and didn't leave like Black Boy Max are currently going through some turmoil with Faze as a whole, to put it lightly. And this led to them being MIA from the entire internet, their communities, and basically going silent, with some people having to speak up for them, like Marlon, who is closely tied to them, explaining that they are going through some troubles right now and for their communities to give them grace.
This has nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, the guys, whatever that is. I'm gonna say right now, we just cannot speak about going on with them. I cannot say anything. That's why I'm just trying to be very careful with how I word things. I'm be honest. That's why I said they will come out and whenever they feel ready to talk whatever is going on, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? I was not live either, and that was it. And that's pretty much what it is, bro. What I want to say is, though, what I do want to say is just have some grace on them, to all the communities, to all their communities. I'm gonna say this right now. This is just for me speaking. You know what I'm saying? Just have some grace. Why y'all putting the Illuminati thing before? They love y'all, obviously, all of it. And in due time, when they're ready, whatever they are going on, they will come out and explain.
While I unfortunately don't have an explanation from the Faze members that are going through this turmoil, we actually do have some actions to show for them though. As most recently, all of those new rebranded Faze members actually left Faze, like Stable Ronaldo, Lacey, Jason the Ween, along with Faze Adapt, who was an OG.
Damn, that's like the whole squad. So who we left with? Your Rage, Silky. Your Rage is... Am I bugging? I'm missing somebody? This is Your Rage and Silky.
Gave Faze a better part of half of his life, being a porter for 14 years, yet still leaving due to all the turmoil and terrible things that were happening during the organization. And this left a lot of people questioning and wondering what could possibly be happening with Faze to have all of these members all of a sudden just leave an organization that not only brought them to the highest heights they've ever seen, but basically formed a brotherhood like no other. And while we don't have anything from them, we do have things from other people like assistants, or even people adjacent to Faze that have talked about the crazy things that have been going on. Way before Black Boy Max actually hopped on his stream, his cousin, who was closely tied to him and even a part of some meetings, came out and exposed some crucial things that were happening while he was a part of Faze.
Funny money. They do funny money, and now they're just doing funny money towards everyone, but I want to talk about
I think it sound like Max.
this, but they did some weird chat. They done some weird, because he's still part of some. I'm not going to talk about everything, but all I'm going to say is, let me make it simple for you. I don't want in Faze to feel crazy that they're still in Faze, like where it's like forcing them to leave. That's why I didn't even say nothing to begin with, because I don't feel like I gotta leave now. You feel me? You feel me? But basically, it's like, how you gonna go off of Faze, and then when it's time for like you get paid because didn't go out in your favor, you try to R word that turned you up. Like, I'll give you one part. Gang, you see that little townhouse that Max was in Faze? They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the? Or give a...
Wait, they tried to make him pay 20 bands a month for the townhouse? Was it like 20 bands a month per person? Per person. That do sound like some scam shit. Hold up. What else was he saying?
Max was in Faze. They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the? Or give a percentage of myself. What the? But Max is such a good... He just... Yo, bro, I just want to... And now... Like Max look crazy, look like egoed out. No, that's not cool though. Like taking on the chin, making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro. So of course he's gonna look like this. Oh, this just worried about himself. Nothing.
Because at the time, Black Boy Max's cousin, who you just heard spoke, was basically his assistant. He was able to sit in on some of these talks and get in on the conversations that were actually happening when it came to the Faze as a collective. But since he didn't have to sign any papers, when it comes out talking about it on stream, no real collateral things can happen to him. And because of this much needed clarity that he was giving, a lot more people were looking at Faze as one of the strangest and weirdest organizations in the entire world due to how they were treating their creators that literally brought back this brand that was in the dirt and no one truly cared about. And again, much needed clarity to the stuff that was happening with Playboy Max when he...
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's like, obviously, like, this whole content creation shit is business, but whenever like the businesses get like a stranglehold on the creators, the product becomes shit, bro. It's either the company and not treating the content creators right, or the content is just gonna be ass. It's one or the other. And that's how you get situations like this, bro. Because niggas is just looking at numbers. They not looking at culture. They not looking at like positive energy and shit like that. But that's business. Like business owners, like specifically like that type of business, that whole like white collar shit that they do, like they're not gonna give a fuck about like the creators, bro. They just care about the bottom line. They see all these niggas making all of this money. They trying to make sure they get theirs. They don't care about nothing else.
Left, even though the
and whenever you like over industrialize like content creation, that's when that shit becomes watered down and it becomes like ass and a task, and you get all types of weird shit like this.
That he was getting was unjust because of the things that were happening here. But obviously it wasn't just going to be him that spoke on the situation. With a couple hours after everything coming out, all of the Faze members leaving, Black Boy Max took to his stream to speak on the situation even further.
See, I only seen the part of bank shit
because he is bound by certain contracts of things he can and can't speak on, but he gave as much detail as he possibly could.
Good times. It was cool for the most part. Hiccups here and there, but nothing where it was like ever be a major issue. Even when we had our little issues, it was never, this is something that would break up, something that would potentially be a
huge issue. Then Faze Miss 1 happened. Everything's still smooth. As I know, Faze Miss last year, 2024, was a great vibe. There was a stream later on into the month where I'm not even going to specifically name names, because if you was there, you was there. It's not the most big deal. But we had a sponsor and didn't end up doing the sponsor. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, they said that Faze has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and said home early. This is the first time where in my head,
send everybody home early.
Went, so how much control do we have here? And how much control do we have over us?
After a short altercation with Blackboy Max, Faze, and the rest of the collective had with a sponsor, it opened his eyes to how much control he actually has over the company, which makes sense. If Faze over a whim is able to just pull people that are supposed to come on your streams or are supposed to be sponsored with y'all, it really is going to make you sit there and wonder, dang, I'm the one putting in all of this work, I'm the one creating all of this content, yet at one small inconvenience or one small whim, y'all can take away everything that I've worked hard for. Not mainly,
like, they just pulled a sponsorship like that. That's crazy.
But just things that we have worked to try and gain, like
that is a wake-up call.
Guests, even a house that they could possibly be staying in, because while they might be paying for it as a collective, Faze is still helping in with a large majority of the money, giving them things like PCs, houses, or whatever they could possibly want. And if they're able to just take that all the way because they're not moving how they want to, it's going to make you question the company that you're supposed to be a part of. Because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a brotherhood, like you're having fun with a bunch of friends, but you are still at the end of the day at the whim of a company. That he goes.
So I want to know, like, what their contracts are. Are the people that are Faze, do they sign like a year, like an annual contract, or are they signing like month-to-month contracts? That's what I want to know, because these niggas just dipped.
More depth in, as they actually did worse things further on in his career.
Move into January. Y'all know I started 365. Someone at Faze had introduced me to my old manager, Brandon. Shout out, Brandon. Y'all probably seen him, tall white boy with hair. You feel me? Yeah, 153. Oops. Brandon had falling out with person who introduced me, and person who introduced me tells me, according to my assistant and my creative director at the time, who were sitting in on all calls because they're on my team, I have to fire my manager and get rid of him, or I can't be here when they're the person who introduced me. Video proof as well of
he had to fire his manager. What the fuck?
Meeting, they were there.
Another altercation like this just showed how much control Faze actually has over Max, specifically with the person that he is introduced to, that being his new manager at the time, being able to be taken away at a whim just because someone in the higher ups of Faze, he didn't specify if it was corporate side, an actual member, maybe like even Faze Banks, telling him that he has to get rid of him or he is going to get dropped from the organization. When you have demands like that or terms like that and people doing those things, it really is going to make you question if you want to stay there or not, because you don't know what misstep you could possibly make that's going to make you be exiled from the org that you put so much hard work and time in. While yes, this org is helping them and pushing them up and moving them forward in their career, bro. At the end of the day, this brand would be nothing without people like Blackboy Max, Jason the Ween, Stable Ronaldo actually streaming and improving it in the ways that they have. So while they are over here using all of this power to basically drive them away, there is no Faze organization, at least in this new era, without any of them. But of course, more altercations happen and Max goes more in depth on things that he's also experienced being a part of Faze.
Y'all remember when Lacey got kicked from Faze? He really got kicked from Faze.
Oh, Lacey got kicked
from Faze because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed a video shoot or something, and we were missing video shoots, and so he actually got kicked from Faze. Granted, he was allowed back in a couple, later, because all had convos, but yes, he got kicked from Faze. So my point of this is to tell y'all this: we had no control. There was no control. Or it's like we're puppets. At least that's what it felt like. You get what I'm saying?
Sounds about
Anything
right.
could happen at any moment. Bro, Lacey loved Faze. This campaign for this hardest. Like, how can that happen, bro?
Based on everything Blackboy Max is saying, it seemed like Faze from the start was going to have this downfall happen. As multiple of the members seemed unhappy, it can't be just him that would be upset with Lacey getting kicked. Lacey himself was definitely upset too that he's getting kicked for just missing a Faze shoot. They put in so much work, so much grind in order to rebrand and do everything they possibly could. If you are having somebody have this much control over you, you're going to question if you really want to do this. And at the end of the day, what you're building for yourself is a brand that you want to have value, that you want to influence the world, and you're not going to be able to do that if somebody else is calling the shots 24/7 and able to.
I was gonna say, like, what do you do on your own? Like, let's say you do miss a shoot for whatever reason, like now you're just cooked, you're just out of the group, bro. Like, what the fuck? What type of dictator childish shit that is that? Because it's like, yeah, it's a business, yeah, it's like you got business going on, but like things happen.
Are you basically out of whim from a group that you already?
These niggas making you tons and tons and tons of thousands and millions of dollars, bro.
in so much effort and hours into. What makes it 20 times worse too is not only that all of these altercations happened, but when Black Boy Max actually came to his decision to be like, hey, I'm just done with Faze, it wasn't even like the Faze boys were too upset about it. It was actually the staff that was a part of Faze Clan that was sending him crazy types of threats, talking bad about him.
I gotta commit. I know I can't be here, bro. Did us wrong multiple times, according to the assistants. As a man, what do I look like, bro? I gotta fight for it. Not fight for it, but I gotta go after what I believe is right and what I want for myself. Even though it's corporate, it's not my boys. You know what I'm saying? And they had to catch some of that too. Now, the reason why a lot of it I didn't, was never said was because at the end of the day, if I came out and said whatever the day I left, now it puts them in a position where they look crazy for staying when they wanted to stay. And at the end of the day, if they wanted to stay, they want to stay. That has nothing to do with me. I freed myself. Hopefully they can figure that out one day. You feel me? Or if it work and everything's smooth. When I left, I got told that was there. I'm not talking about the boys who work for. I got told it'd be the worst decision of my life. I got told I would KMS without being in it. I think.
Wait, what type of corporate meeting? What type of corporate meeting you in where a nigga's like, yo, if you leave Faze, you're gonna smoke yourself? Who the fuck said some shit like that? Nah, that nigga was in cahoots with some weird niggas to begin with.
That I bet on myself.
Now, that was Max's full side of why he left Faze, and it makes sense. No one wants to be in a work environment like that. You feel like you're walking on eggshells because your career could just disappear any minute, or the organization that you helped put up to the forefront of streaming nowadays could just kick you off of the roster really because you did something that they didn't like, that you have been doing for a good minute now. And it seemed like he already knew the rest of the Faze members were going to follow suit with the way that the whole organization was being run. At the end of the day, he described it as freeing himself, and if he felt like he was in shackles or this was hindering his content, then in due time, obviously the other Faze boys that were being hindered by this same constraint that Faze was putting on them was going to want to leave too, so that they can pursue what they wanted to do in content creation. Eventually, obviously that happened due to the fallout that happened with Faze and the rest of those content creators today. Unfortunately, there was still more drama that came from this, because after Black Boy Max told his entire story, he actually looked and reacted to a tweet from Faze Banks, a former Faze member who had left around 5 months ago, and played a laugh track to what he had said. I have nothing to do with what's going on at Faze Clan right now. I left 4 months ago and have moved on with my life. I'm fortunate to see, wishing everybody involved the best. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm here. Nobody loves Faze more than me. And obviously this could not go well with Faze Banks, to the point where he wanted to step out and talk bad about everything that happened in Faze Clan, throwing shade at basically every single member.
These streamers, all of them.
So maybe this guy Faze Banks, bro, really looking like Adam 22 right now. But maybe Faze Banks was the guy that said, yo, you're gonna KMS if you leave. Like, if you leave Faze, you're gonna want to off yourself. That sounds like some shit.
Last one of them are forced to appeal to their comms and their chats and narratives on Twitter. And if they don't, they lose viewers. If they don't, they take a hit financially to their career. And this has a huge effect on who their friends are, who they're in relationships with, all of it. Everything. Yeah, all this drama is created, and we get on a call 5 months ago, and the guys are like, listen, we're over the drama. We think it's best if you just like publicly step down from Faze, just to cool down the drama online. I reacted very emotionally to this. I was obviously took it very personally and was offended because, again, I used my entire network, every dollar that I've ever made, everything that I've ever had, this brand that I built, I used all of it as leverage to start these guys as a content group and
to publicly step
with
down
the sole goal and intent to bring Faze back to the top.
So was he like on a board or something? How you publicly, like, obviously I seen when he like stepped down and everything, but I thought this guy was the fucking owner.
We did that all collectively, and none of them could ever dispute the fact. Max just said it himself on his stream. Joining Faze was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I've heard that from Lacey, I've heard it from Silky, I've heard it from Jason, I've heard it from Ron, I've heard it from Adapt, I've heard it from every single person that's ever joined Faze. Specifically these guys. And I'm here to tell you, as former Faze Banks, this was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
Damn.
Faze Banks comes out basically saying that he is frustrated with everything that has happened with Faze. And it makes sense that he was the brand owner and basically the entire phase of it that made this rebrand happen in the first place. He was the one that recruited everybody that's in new Faze. Everyone that left recently apparently is the reason that he left himself. And it kind of sucks from his perspective, if what he's saying is true, that they basically kicked him out, did all of this stuff for them, and at the end end of the day, he gets nothing but scraps and is put in debt because of Faze. That was the main reason why he said it was one of the worst decisions of his life, because he is millions of dollars in debt trying to rebuild this brand that apparently he is letting these kids in his eyes.
Hold up. No, you know what? Full cam. He just said this nigga Faze Banks is in debt for restarting Faze. How are you in debt, bro? Got all the most successful streamers. You're not making nothing off of these niggas. Like, that sounds like you might have just made a bad business decision. I don't know how this shit's structured up, but there's no way you're hurting, bro. I'm not believing that shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Away with and basically do whatever they want with, even kick him out, even though he was the one that put them on.
Yeah, he got kicked out. How can you? This had to be like some bored shit, bro. Like, cause how do you get kicked out of your own group?
Place. He doesn't even stop there. He continues on saying that them as a whole, as a group, is basically fake. Not only them as a streamer and as a collective, but them being together as a group. They actually don't even like each other, and behind scenes have been talking bad about each other for the longest time.
I just watched some clips from this Blackboy Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent, because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredible.
You hear how this nigga talk? No, yes, business owner. But you see, I haven't seen eye to eye with the talent. It's that corporate shit I'm talking about, bro. Niggas start treating niggas like product. Like this niggas pimping these niggas. Or trying to pimp these niggas. Like, I've never seen eye to eye with talent. Like, the fuck?
Oh, I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent, because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach.
Like, another thing, you gotta have some type of fucking ego to be a streamer, bro. You're literally just recording your life and what you got going on. There's ego. You knew that about these niggas before you even like got them on board. Every streamer, anyone you name, they got ego. If they tell you they don't, they're fucking lying. Now, obviously, it's different amounts of ego. Like, some people got more ego than others. Some people know how to keep their ego in check. But all these niggas got ego, bro.
Your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer, and your community included, is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth.
I think all these streamers are fake.
You've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they hated your guts after you left. And, you know, you're the program, and you have an ego. You think you're Travis Scott and this and that, and also like,
yo, is this nigga hating? Yo, this nigga's hating, bro. Hold on. Let's run that whole little census back, bro. This nigga's hating.
These are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they hated your guts after you left. And, you know, you're the program, and you have an ego this size. You think you're Travis Scott and this and that, and also like Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe, and you guys didn't adapt. None of you guys Lacey or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But Faze was going to fund a Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason. So we'll take what we can get. And then it all worked. And we forced this relationship. And I was called and I was told then I was ruining Faze. And now 2 years later, it wound up being the best thing that ever happened. So you understand why I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated.
Faze Banks' entire speech was around 13 minutes. I'm not going to play that entire thing for you, but you got the gist of mainly what he was talking about from those two clips. Calling out the new Faze boys, saying that they are all fake to each other, talking bad behind their backs, and that streaming in general and them specifically are always being fake and just abiding by whatever their comm wants and whatever their community wants, which is some crazy accusations to put on some people, especially when they all still technically do content together. Even after Max left Faze, you could still catch them doing streams together, but if they're all fake to each other and genuinely don't like any of them, then it's pretty odd and weird to say, and it's going to make a lot of people look at Faze as a whole very differently. What makes it even worse is he goes in depth, bring up examples of how he's being framed as some malicious guy who is trying to take everything from not only Faze as a whole, but just the specific people he's put on in Faze, that being Jason, Ron, Lacey, all of them, when that can be farther from the case according to him.
When all I've ever wanted to do is help Faze be successful. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's the only intent. Where's the money? I'm this guy who's trying to take everything from everybody. Where is it? Then why the am I millions of dollars in debt? It's in Blackboy Max's bank account. It's in Silky's bank account. It's in Jason, Ronaldo, Lacey's bank account. I wish this never.
I don't want to look too deep into this, but This nigga not mentioning rage.
And I wish that I never did any of this. And they'll all still tell you this was the best decision they ever made in their life. I'm emotional and I'm passionate. I'm never going to apologize for that. Anything that I do, anything that I speak on, anything that I work on, any talent that I with, anything that I touch, I will always be 100% 2 feet in. That's just who I am. And everything that I'm telling you guys right now is straight facts.
From the beginning, since Black Boy Max left Faze.
So once again, this nigga's not making. Hold on. I'll just fuck the cameras up. This nigga not making no money, bro. This nigga's not making no fucking money. This nigga gotta be lying, bro. How the fuck you not making no cheese, bro? I don't know, man. It sounds like he might have made a bad business decision or got in cahoots with the wrong guys. Cause it ain't no way in hell you're not. It's all his money being made, and you just telling me you not making money? You telling me you just not making no fucking money? I don't believe it.
To the current state that Faze is in now, with basically all of the new members being gone, to Faze Banks, a former member and the person that brought the rebrand to where it was, speaking out about the entire org as a whole, Faze is going in the worst direction possible, and soon will be in the exact same state before everyone that we've seen leave had joined the brand in the first place. And genuinely, with all these accusations coming out and everybody pointing left, right, and sideways, it makes you wonder what everybody else is going to say, because these allegations from Black Boy Max onto people like Faze Banks and the rest of their collective, or accusations from Banks to the rest of the Faze boys, is very crazy and very sad to see, with all of them apparently even coming out, like Faze Bank himself, saying that he's going to get on a live stream and go more in depth with receipts showing the crazy stuff that they used to be saying. And with all of this stuff coming out, all you can think is that we're going to get some of the craziest insight of what it's actually like to not only be a popular streamer in these situations, but also to be a part of an org like this where people are apparently being two-faced and fake all the time, according to these allegations.
These organizations, bro, I'm telling you, man, if some shit seems too corporate, get up out of there. If you're a creator or like somebody that's like a free thinker and you put yourself in a situation where you gotta have like a restricted thought process or like move to the beat of somebody else's drum, bro, just get out of there, man. I ain't gonna lie. But a lot of these niggas probably just did it for the money. Shit, I would. I ain't gonna lie.
At the end of the day,
at the time, it sounded like, because the thing about this type of things, it seems like, obviously in the beginning it's like, oh, I get to join Faze, so I have a big brand backing me, because Faze like, it's super popular with our generation. You're like, Faze is backing me, I'm finna work with such and such and such and such, this shit finna be lit. And then the shit start kicking in, you start seeing the processes, and you're like, this ain't it, bro, this shit is ass.
Or just allegations without proof. And it's only a matter of time before we get not only some proof, but also some more voices on the situation. As a whole, though, this entire thing, again, is still crazy and insane. And seeing it unfold like this is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, this whole thing is ass. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this situation. If you like the video, and I'm out of here.